ask questions. So with that, enjoy this beautiful session, and with a lot of enthusiasm. When you are here, I am also with a lot of enthusiasm prepared this beautiful episode, so that you get a lot of information, so that at the end of the day we all need to grow with the knowledge what we need to establish ourselves and live a wonderful life. What exactly we are talking about, the load of life or loads of life. Now if you look at a machine gun or a gun, basically unless it's loaded you cannot use that particular machine, so it needs to be loaded. Now sometime you would have heard people, oh, that person is loaded, so what do they mean by loaded? Means he has a lot of money, well to do, wealthy. But in reality, when you look at what exactly is a life, life is, it is very, very simple. Is when you expand that, living in fullest of eternity is one way you can look into. Second one is living in fullness of ecstasy. That's the second one. Third one is living in fulcrum of eternity. That means the main journey of our life needs to be the wisdom, the eternal bliss. That has to be there. That should be a fulcrum of your whole life. You cannot be totally involved only in the materialistic and do not upgrade yourself in your higher spiritual consciousness. And the last but not the least is, it's learn, imbibe, be flexible, and enjoy. That's what is life all about. So here on this platform, you are here to learn, number one. Number two, you need to imbibe. That means what are you going to imbibe is whatever knowledge we are imparting, pick it up. Then what is that flexibility? The basically flexibility is what we try to tell you in flexibility is, you need to understand certain situations of our either the diseases or the body, understand it, and then you work accordingly. That's where your flexibility. It's not like 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That means you're going to drink terahertz water and then finally you're going to get some results. It's different for different human being. And of course finally you need to enjoy this beautiful platform created by our terahertz company. And of course a million thanks to George and the team who has been working indirectly for us to move forward. Now loads, the most of us, what we would think is, the moment load is carrying something, right? Of course it's there are a lot of situations where in our life we need to carry. Some people carry the family responsibility, some people carry the company's responsibility. Like that, there are different ways of carrying responsibility. But human beings carry a lot of loads which are their physical projections. Now this is something very, very meaningful. I wish every one of you understand what this particular sentence is, the total inner meaning of it. Human beings carry a lot of loads which are their physical projections. Now when I'm talking about physical projections, it's basically your desires. What exactly you want, your desires. Now this is where, for example, you've been walking to your office all the while, and take a bus or take a train and you go. After some time what happens is there is a physical desire that, hey, why not I get a car? That's the first option you will. Now this is something like an evolution which has happened over a period of time with the civilization. What we have all done is, we maybe even 50 years ago not many people used to own a car. Owning a car was a big luxury, but today you see every other person in a house itself, 3 cars will be there. So what's happening is your physical need is actually projected out. Now if your projection is just limited to your car, it's still okay. But what will happen once your business is doing so very well that you're earning in millions? Now what happens, million goes to billion, then automatically million is nothing for you. So what happens, you will automatically look for a plane. So a private jet, they call it as a private jet, right? So what is that? It's also a physical projection of what you want. Your desire is being projected. Now what happens, the moment you carry purchasing a plane, of course it's not easy to maintain because that's a bigger responsibility. See, maintaining a car also is a bigger responsibility, right? From the tires to the engine to the taking care of your vehicle itself, there is a lot of responsibility. You need to spend money. But imagine if you're owning a plane, definitely it's going to be a little more extra burden for you. But of course, when you have a lot of money, you can appoint people, you can make them work for you, all is there. But still, when you look at, finally you won't have time for your own self. Now this is where I'm trying to connect the loads of life to what we are all projecting ourselves into our life. Now in that way, there is something which I wanted to share on this platform is, when you see on the left side, this guy is actually carrying a weight. Now as long as the weight you carry is not a burden, it's fine, isn't it? Now on the other side, what you see, this guy probably would have tried some extra kilos to carry. He wanted to probably break a world record or some record he wanted to break. What happened? He finally got injured, of course, definitely. So that means what happens is, whenever we are carrying something and you're enjoying that particular, and there is a physical benefit for your muscle, you can carry that amount of weight. If you're supposed to carry 10 kgs or 15 kgs of weight, it's good for you. But just imagine you want to carry a 70 80 kgs, the load is quite a bit, and then you want to carry that. Definitely there is a risk involved in it, because there can be injuries to your joint, injuries to your ligament can be there. And then of course, equally you're supposed to eat that kind of food for you to carry that weight. So automatically what happens, if you are going to eat protein, high protein diet, then automatically you need to buy more protein, more expensive ones. And then what happens, the required nutrition has to be given, maybe the eggs. I have heard certain our muscle builders, per day they will eat 20 eggs. Like that, what happens is everything is an expense. So it's your projection of your desire becomes your load. So how much of load can you accept? How much of load can you carry? Now, be it your physical, be it in your mind. Even in your mind, you cannot be carrying too many things into your journey of life, wherein it becomes a burden and then you don't enjoy. It can be a simple example where you go to your office to work. If you're not happy going to your office to work, what happens? It becomes a load, it becomes a burden for you. If it is going to become a burden for you, what are you going to do? Definitely you won't be happy. Then automatically your muscles start getting contracted. Automatically there is a stressful situation in your body. So when there is a stress, what happens? A hormone called cortisol gets released. If your hormone cortisol, it is necessary, but when it is goes beyond certain limits, automatically it starts damaging certain situations of your body, and then you will pay the penalty in form of a disease. So many a time stress is something which we won't be able to exactly show you how much. But here in our epigenetics, we do pick up signals from your body through our whatever testing machines, and then we can tell you how much stressful are you. So saying that, what happens is we need to go to our next this one is, what is a life projection? It can be basically materialistic comforts. It's a projection. What happens? Your comforts. Maybe it's buying a house, buying a car, maybe your luxurious items. All these are all materialistic projections. Then on the other side, when this projection goes beyond control, you lose your identity. Many a times you will be actually, it will be like you are under so much of stress that it will automatically, you will feel actually you won't have time for your own self. Many times you see a lot of business people who are totally occupied with too many businesses, the load is too much. Definitely they find it difficult for spending a little more time. So in that way, what happens is, only when there is a disease strikes for you, then automatically you start toning down, and then from there you start realizing that all this materialistic projection one day will definitely will not be helpful for you, because at the end of the day it's not going to help you. So this is something which we all have to understand, that what you project is very, very important. So now you have to start reducing the loads. It's easy to put up a smile. Now just imagine if you do not have too much of load on you in terms of mind projection or in terms of physical projection. What happens? You're a happy person, happy-go-lucky guy. You don't have to worry too much about anything, because there's no load. But for example, you're enjoying doing things for your family. What does it mean? That means you're enjoying, means automatically you will be able to move forward, because that happiness will automatically boost you to do something extra for the family. Plus, it will be an advantage. But if you're a person thinking that, you, my whole family, I am the only person doing this, I have to do this, I have to do that, you take a little bit of concern in terms of the stressful situation, then automatically you will feel little unhappy because you are the only person doing it. So there also you should know how much of load can you be affording to. Now, this is something very, very beautiful in this slide. What you need to understand is we all are an organism which organizes itself. Yes or no? You consider your human being, we as human being, we are an organism on one side. Now, why do I say an organism is, imagine you just go up in the space, and from there if you see us, how big we will be, we can't even be seen actually, right? Even with a telescope it will be difficult for to see one individual, so small we are. That means we are like organism. But at the same time, when you are talking about a virus, it is also totally cannot be seen. Just recently, there was an article which I read. There are millions of people who died, okay, during the COVID time. Now, when they collected the information, how many people died, and then how much of virus, it was a presumptive calculation which they did, and what did they found was the whole population who all died because of the virus. The virus just weighed around 1 to 2 grams. 1 to 2 grams. That's it. But that kind of little thing, it really put every human being to shame, and then in a way where it totally destroyed. That means, what are we? We are so fragile. We are so gullible. So that is the real situation. So when I say organism, that means we are really a small dot on this planet universe. Now, as long as it is within the limitations, the organization runs smoothly, right? If everything is within your limits, for example, your thinking, your physical projection, everything is within the limitation, your body can function very beautifully. Everything is fantastic. Even until 100 years, you should be able to handle it properly. Now, if the same thing goes a little hayway, be it a company, a disorganized organism, or an organization, always becomes dysfunctional. This is a very, very important information. It becomes dysfunctional. So that means you and I, while we are living on this planet Earth, we need to be organized. We need to have a responsibility. We need to have a discipline. We need to have a proper planning. So the moment you have all these together, automatically you know what to do. So everything starts from you're waking up until you go back to sleep. There needs to be a proper programming, a proper organizing of your day, and you need to execute whatever you are supposed in a much more clear path of methodical and in an organizational way. When you do that, everything is beautiful. This is something very, very important. Now, the truth, but the truth is, even the best organization, what happens when a time comes, the organization will something like it expires, something like someone takes over. Like recently, Twitter was taken over by Elon Musk, right? Something like that, it goes on changing hands. That is the reality. And in the same way, organism has an expiry. That means you and I, as a human being, as an organism, we do have an expiry. So when this is the reality of life, what do I mean by the loads of life is, you need to know how much tangible you can carry the load of life. Do not carry too much beyond your capacity, so that it becomes a burden for you, and then it becomes a torture for you to carry it, and then ultimately you become stressful, and then stress automatically leads to diseases, and then automatically disease will lead you to hospital will definitely lead you to taking multiple medications, and then multiple medications will give you multiple complications of your body. So it's a chain reaction. So you need to be very, very careful in organizing as an organism. Now, saying that, what happens, we all have something like an hardware. So what do I mean by hardware? Is your physical body. Then there is something like software is a knowledge which you are going to pick up from this universe, wherein you are supposed to download and update your software. Haven't you seen in your computers, Every now and then your Windows will say, please update your software. So you need to update your software. Even your phones, when you're using your phone, it will say the software will be, especially people who are using iPhone. Every now and then it will say, yeah, it will update tonight. So automatically what does it mean is the company is doing every required necessary changes, and then you need to update. So the same way, are you updating your information of knowledge in your body? Are you picking up the information? If you're doing that, definitely it's very good. But many of us do not want to explore. Many of us do not want to expand. We all want to live in a very comfortable zone. For example, you're working in a particular office, you just go down, come back, go down, come back. For the next 50 years, you'll be doing the same thing until the age of 60 years, you retire, and finally, you don't know what to do. After 60 years, you get all the diseases. Now this is something we all need to understand. So you need to, in the what are the software you need to update is, you need to go out for a new challenges. You need to pick up some new information of our existence. You need to see how this universe works. You need to pick up some information on how this cosmic is revolving, how this earth is revolving, at what speed it is revolving, and you and I don't even realize that the world is revolving. We don't even feel it. And how does the plants, how does the animal live? There are a lot of things we can learn from nature. So when we are looking at those kind of situations, what happens is there is some information you will automatically get, and then from there what will happen, you will expand your consciousness, you will expand your knowledge. It's always told that what you learn is just only a fistful. What you learn all through your life is only a fistful, and what you have unlearned or what you don't know is like an ocean. This is the truth. So everything, the more you don't know or the more you know, you feel like you don't know anything. Because the moment you meet someone who is much more intelligent in giving you information, you feel, wow, I thought that I know everything, but that person is giving me some more different kind of information. So in that way, what happens is our knowledge, whatever we learn, is very, very limited. It's even though with the little redundant brain what we have, we can uh, you can record, you can store huge information in sync, but still we hardly use 5 to 10% of our brain. So in that way, you need to look for some new information. Whereas coming back to our physical body, what you need to update, number one, what are your food habits? What were you doing yesterday? It doesn't matter. What are you doing today? How have you changed? Have you changed your food habits? Now what poison was 50 years ago in the food, today it's a different poison you are having. So in that way, your food habits, your water. Like today, we are so proud to say that terahertz resonated water is available. You resonate 3 minutes, you can drink the water. There are so many benefits. All this is available. It's the latest. So what happened? Are you sharing this information with the people around you? Are you giving this information to more people, and are more people getting involved to know what exactly is this resonated water? How good is the water? What are we supposed to do with this? All this is basically upgrading, updating. All this will happen to your physical body. Then your sleep. So like this, if you look at, there are a lot of things we all need to go on updating yourself. So if you really ask me, we need to update every day. This is a very, very important. It's not once in a while you update. Every day you update. Every day do something different. Every day read something different. Every day change the way you are doing. Probably one day you just park your car a little far away and walk it along. One day you go by train. One day you go by bus. You need to change so that your mind also will pick information which is different. And very important, many of us don't realize is, if at all, if you are going from here to KL, you will be picking up the same road every day, right? So automatically you know where will be the jam, where you need to apply brakes, where you need to slow down, all these if it is on that particular. But if you change the roads, if you change the highways, and then if you are going, what happens? Your brain suddenly change. So one day you take Kasas highway, one day you take a federal highway, one day you take NKV. It will be nice, it will be different. And one fine day you definitely try to take a train. It is not very convenient, but still, why not? It is possible. You should give it a try. So what happens? The brain also picks up some new information. You will be meeting different people. You will be enjoying the different people's way of doing things when you meet in a public. Whereas when you go in a personalized car, what happens? It's totally in a closed environment. You just go down, park your car, get down, and go to your office. This is what we have been doing all the while. So you need to do certain things to update yourself in the form of changes. So in that way, we all are in a life called, it's like a train journey. We are all traveling. When we start our journey is when you are born, your train station starts up with your parents and you start moving in. As you're going in, there will be people coming inside your train, there will be people getting out of your train. Some people will be there all along in your train, but nobody, many a times, nobody will be there with you from birth to death. If at all, by chance, you die very early, probably your siblings will be there, probably your parents can be there. It will be, it's a rare situation, but if you are going to live for 90, 95 years and all, most of the time your siblings all would have passed away, your parents would have passed away. But what happens is, in this train journey, our job is to, today, just today, okay, what happened? Today we are staying in a, you all have come to a particular station and then the train has stopped here. And the train has stopped, and then what we are doing, we are actually listening to Dr. Prabhu's sharing of water. And in that way, what happens, once we finish sharing or once we pick up the information from Dr. Prabhu by 9 o'clock, what happens? You get back to your train and start moving forward. I will also start moving forward in my own way of life. So every day we are all moving in our own journey, just like a train, meeting different people in different stations. Some people will be in the station and talking to you. Some people will be coming inside your train, start walking along with you, and then after some time they'll get out of the train. Now, seeing that we all come alone, we all walk alone, and we leave alone. This is a very, very important. But when we are going to leave alone, what happens is, what did you learn actually? What did you learn in this particular human path of life? How did you, like the same eagle, if it is just only walking on the floor, what happens is, on the ground, it doesn't look nice. But the same eagle, when it flies up in the air, it's so majestic. It looks so beautiful. Especially an eagle gliding the air will be very beautiful to see, because most of the time you will see all the birds flapping the wings and then flying. But this is the only bird, few times it will flap, then the remaining part it will be gliding around. So you and I also in life, we need to know how to, when to flap and then when to glide. So for that we need to be very, very smart and very, very intelligent in the intellectual intelligence, and then we should know how to glide. So when you can glide your life, what will happen? Will you be having stress in your life? There won't be stress at all in life, because you know how to glide. But if you like a sparrow, you go on flapping, 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 you will not be able to fly too long. Have you seen sparrows? They'll be hardly few meters, they'll sit down. Few meters, they will sit down. They cannot fly for a too long a distance. That's the capability of a sparrow. So if you are in a life like a sparrow, of course everything will be very, very short-lived. Your happiness will be short-lived. Everything, will be short-lived. So that is not life. We need to enjoy our life in a very steady, very stable manner, so that you don't have much stress in life. You need to know how to glide. So just like an eagle, you need to know how to glide. Now, this is something very, very beautiful. I picked it up and then I thought, okay, let me today share it with you all. Now you see here the first one. There are three kind of people on this planet Earth. One is a problem creator. That is your situation. It's a problem creator. So what happened? Or knowingly or unknowingly create problems for themselves and create problem for others also. Why do they do that? It's because of their ignorance, and sometimes it's their belief system. They will be doing all the wrong things. Number one. Number two, problem seeker. There are sometimes, you would have seen people, they will go invite the problem, carry it along, and then say, I have a problem. So they are the one who are knowingly or unknowingly land up in problem and carry it all along looking for solution. See, once you have a problem, you should know how to solve it. As a human being, we are all very, very intelligent enough to find solutions for every of our situations. I don't even call it as a problem. We should call it as a situation. Now, the third variety of people are the one who are all problem solvers. Who are they? Are the ones who take every opportunity to solve the situation with their experience, and invariably, what happens is, invariably, they will be in very good vibration, and then they not only help themselves, but they help others also. So like that, now in our terahertz platform, there are a lot of people who are doing a wonderful job of giving our terahertz resonated water to a lot of people. I think they're doing it free service. It's amazing. So we all need to, if at all you ask me which is the best variety of what kind of people, we should be in the third variety, wherein you should be a problem solver, not only for you, even for others. So saying that, what happens, we all need to become a problem solver. Now coming back to the loads of life and water molecule. What has water molecule to do with this load of life? Very simple. Bigger the molecule, like bigger the load, bigger the molecule, it is very very difficult for the molecule to enter your cell membrane or the aquaporate. Number one. Number two, if it is in the clusters form for more than 4 or 5, it will be difficult to enter the aquaporate. Please forgive me, there are a little bit of spelling mistakes, forgive me for that. So in that way, even if there are clusters also, you will not be able to move forward in. So just like the loads of life, even the molecules of water, if it is bigger, if it is too many, cannot go inside. So what is the best solution for the water molecule? If the size of the water molecule is smaller, don't you think it's better? No. Which is that water? It's a terahertz resonated water. It is a small molecule. Number one. Number two, without clusters, which is the one, once again, terahertz resonated water is a linear water, which is much better for you to enter inside your cell. And of course you can see what are the molecular size of water, right from the distilled water to tap water. Tap water is something very big, 120 is quite big. So in that way, you look at even an ionized water is almost 52 to 53 hertz. So very important is, if the water molecule is so small, ours is terahertz resonated is almost 7.6, is very small, so it's much more easier. So the load of the molecule is what I'm connecting here is, smaller the molecule, is easier for the water molecule to penetrate. So what are the benefits of drinking an adequate water? If you're going to drink, I'm not talking about the resonated water, I'm just telling drinking the water. What happens? There is a good hydration of your body, your cells are hydrated, then proper metabolic function of your cells will be there, then proper detoxification of the cells will happen, and proper transport of adequate oxygen will happen, and also the picking of other nutrients from the food will happen what we eat, and then proper bowel movements, and then of course it's very joints and all will have a smooth function because of the adequate hydration. Now, what is an ideal? We go back to little basics. What is an ideal drinking water? That means a water which is drinkable, that is potable. It's called potable water. How it must be? What are the qualities? It must be very simple. pH must be 7.5 to 8. Very simple. Number one. Number two, total dissolved solvents is called TDS. How much? It should be between 50 to 200. Ideally, good enough. But WHO accepts until 500. It's still okay, they say, but I say no. Maximum of 200 dissolved solvents is good enough. Anything more than that, it put pressure on your kidneys. So anything with high total dissolved solvents in your water means your kidneys will be pressurized. So automatically kidney will have an issue with, in terms of not functioning properly. So kidney failures are very common when your water is not clean and not pure and not having a lot of heavy metals. It's a problem. Then comes to an ORP. ORP is an oxidative reduction potential, is called ORP. How much it should be? It should be minus, not plus. Very important. Minus. See, in real life, most of the time, if it is plus, that means your bank account is plus. You're very happy, isn't it? If it is minus, you're not happy. But many things in life, when it is minus, is very good. For example, as I told you, lesser the load in your life, the life will be very beautiful. Same way you see ORP, minus from 0, you go minus 100, 50, 100, 200, 300, minus up to 1000, minus 1000 ORP is excellent for cancer treatment. Minus 1000. That means they are able to give you a lot of oxygen molecules. That's the reason it's called as a ORP. But on the other side, if you see plus 50 to 100 is still acceptable. It's still acceptable for you to drink water. But anything more than that, ORP of 200 or 300 or 500, it's more or less like you're drinking an acid water. It's very high. Like Coca-Cola is plus 500. So that means the ORP is 500 means definitely it causes a lot of issues in your body, because ORP positive definitely will have problem. ORP minus, at least if there is a free radical damage, there will be some donation of oxygen. This is the importance of ORP. Then the water must be clean from bacteria, viruses, parasites, and it should not contain heavy metals, toxic metals, chemicals, and pesticides. Now, just imagine how many people in Malaysia, especially when you go to the kampung side and all, how many of us are fixed a filter outside and then we have a very good filter inside. So I always will request every one of you is how much ever you are earning money, whether it's 500,000, 10,000, 20,000, it doesn't matter. What you need to do is plan your life. You can buy a very beautiful big house for 500,000, but you need to invest a good amount of around 1,000 to 2,000 ringgits for putting a good filtration system. One is outside and one inside your house. Very, very important. That means your water needs to be very, very clean, because today we are getting a very, very polluted water, and you won't believe, you're going to directly drink the Shabas water, definitely your kidneys has gone, definitely, because you can see the water color will be almost brown. In fact, every 2-3 days when I do the backwashing of my filter, I will see it be typically brown color water coming out every 3-4 days. From where is this amount? Of course, all the rusted pipe. So your potable water needs to have all these qualities. Now, there are different methods of resonating the water. One is your emirate technology. You can do ozonation, then you can use music, you can use chanting, you can use a pipe wherein you put pebbles and pour the water inside, and then on the other side you catch the water, it becomes a structured water. Now, terahertz technology is something the latest, where it's in town for almost now 4 years. So what is happening is it is a very fast way of resonating your water. Within 3 minutes you can do that. And then what happens, once the structure of the water is changed, there are a lot of good benefits you get, saying that it is a new way of structured water. So if anybody is asking you what is terahertz water, you tell them it's a structured, because structured water means everybody knows it's a structured water is something which is the same as what you need for your body. Physical body will pick it up easily if it is a structured water. If it is a distorted water, it is difficult for the body to absorb it. It can be done in, as I told you, 3 minutes. It's very, very fast. Okay, now what are the special precautions? Especially this is something which I would say is those with potassium or sodium deficiency will be facing a challenging situation. So hence you need to know how much of minerals and this one to be added into the water. So these are all a little bit of patients having renal problems, cardiac problems. So you all need to have a balance of what you're doing. So speak to your doctor and then take the right guidance, and then plan to drink the water. And if you already have multiple diseases, please start drinking the water from a lower amount, maybe around 250 ml, and then slowly increase it. And if you have gut issues, like I had one particular person who had a irritable bowel syndrome, and then whenever he was drinking the water, he had a lot of problem in continuous diarrhea. So in fact, I asked him to drink the water after diluting it equally, 1:1, and then after diluting, things were a little better. So right now he is drinking, but we couldn't see much of difference in this particular person. He has been drinking for almost 1 year, and still has not given any very positive feedback from there. But he is the only person. But most of the other customers have given a very, very positive feedback after drinking the water. They feel more energetic, and especially people who have not detoxed before, and then when you are going to drink the terahertz water, definitely there will be a lot of detoxification happening. So you need to be a little understanding the mechanism. It's not a poison where it will create no problem for you, but it will definitely do a little bit of detoxification. So you need to understand. So what is that you need to do is, who can drink the water? Everybody can drink the water. There is no, because sometimes people will ask who can drink the water. I would say everybody can drink, but if at all, as I told you, if you have a lot of medical issues, you better start with slow and then make your body adaptable, so that it can be able to adapt to the water molecules, and then slowly your body, once it gets adapted, then it's okay. There shouldn't be any problem there. Now, what is that message I want to give you all today is the loads of life. As I told you, you need to carry lesser and lesser. So at least from today onwards, what you need to do is choose what exactly you need in your life. You need to the projection of what you want, especially when you start projecting outside and outside and outside without looking inside you. Even if one day you sit and then look into your own self, your own the liver, how it works, how does it detoxify, how does it remove the poison, how does it remove the fat, how does the kidney form the urine, how does your intestines pick up all the nutrition from the food what you eat, and then remaining the waste product, how does it automatically throw it out, how does your lung take in oxygen, how does it exchange oxygen and then carry it along, and then how does it go through your blood vessels, and then from there how the cells pick up. In the same way, how does your brain work, how does your eyes work. If you look into all these itself, you won't have time to look outside, because this body is such a fantastic, magnanimous, magnificent machine created by the divine, that there are a lot of things we need to learn by looking inside. But when I say when you are looking inside, I would also say that when you are silent, the more you open your eyes and see, the more problems you will start seeing, because when the moment you see, there is a comparison. In fact, people who are blind, it has been told that their stress level is very, very low, because they don't see, they don't have to compare, they don't compare things. So, in fact, I have done a research on human energy fields with blind people. Invariably, I have never seen any blind people having low energy. Most of my blind people energies were very, very high. But the people who with wide open eyes, we are the ones we face a lot of problems, because the moment we see, we start comparing, the moment we see, we want something like that. So everything goes on the projection. If your neighbor buys something, you also want to do the same thing, so it's automatically their projection is you want to have your own projection. So ultimately, like a child, if at all you want to be happy all the time, have you seen any child, basically your own children, like when they are very small, you scold them, you hit them, what happens, you whack them also, after some time they'll forget everything and they'll come back, mommy, daddy, and then automatically they'll forget, they'll smile. You give them a doll, they'll forget the whole problem. Whereas you and me as an adult, what happened if someone scolds you, you all through your life will be telling, this fellow, he came and scolded me like this, he insulted me like this, he did this to me. We go on carrying this unfavorable thought patterns, unfavorable vibes. So what happens, the load goes on increasing. So the more you go on carrying your loads of unfavorable thought patterns in your shoulders, it can be hatred on any human being, it can be hatred of your boss in the company, it can be hatred of your friend, it can be hatred of your girlfriend, your ex, whatever it is. What happened, you're carrying unnecessary weight, and then you will be trying to walk, and if it goes beyond, then it becomes stressful, then you start getting diseases. So the message for you all is, be like a child, reduce the load. For a child, you see what it wants, basically you just give them a doll, they're very happy. The same way, we need to be contented with what we have. If at all you have 100 ringgits in your bank, that's the most beautiful thing you can look into. It's good, say thank you to God, or thank you to the divine, that you have at least 100 ringgits in your bank. But if you just focus on the desires of life, you want to become a millionaire, you tell me how many people can become millionaires. If everybody is a millionaire, life will be boring actually. You will never see anybody poor, right? But it won't happen in this world, that will never happen. There is always a high and low, it's always there. But our journey, we need to make things much more easier. So what we need to do is, we need to reduce the load. So when I say reduce the load, what is the final message I wish to give you all is, life is an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing journey until you have your last breath on this planet. Enjoy every moment of life, as you may not get back the same. It is something very, very beautiful, isn't it? Today is the 6th of November. Would you get one other 6th of November 2022? No. Once it passes off, that's it. So such of those who are all here, it's a blessed day for us, all of us. We are meeting down here, and then we are sharing this beautiful information. And water is a beautiful storehouse of emotion. Now, this is something very important. Now, you are very well hydrated. It's very good, isn't it? So all the while we were talking about hydration. Now, once your body is hydrated, so that means your water level in your body is good. Can you believe it is a very good storehouse of your emotions? Water takes your emotion. Now, this is another big challenge you're going to have. You go on thinking negative, you go on thinking unfavorable, your emotions, you give emotions for every situation. What happens? The water molecule inside your body changes. So automatically what happens? Even though you're drinking water, even though you're hydrated, even though you're terahertz drinking, you're drinking terahertz water, you still will have other problems. Why? Because it's your own emotions. It's your own emotions, nobody else. It's not the problem of the person who gave you the terahertz water. The person who gave you the water is fantastic with a good intention he gave you. You are drinking the water, but in your free time, what are you thinking? Whom are you scolding? What kind of negativity are you projecting from your side? What kind of desires are you creating? Everything is an emotion. So when there is an emotion, energy in motion, automatically, if it is positive, well and good, you will get the good benefit. But if it is unfavorable, if it is negative, what we say, what happens? It also collects in your water molecule. Your water stores it, the memory. Water carries memory. Now, in that way, it's such a responsible situation for you and I. Just drinking terahertz water alone is not enough. It is good for your physical body, but your mindset, what kind of thought patterns do you have, plays a very, very important role. Now, walking alone is good, but walking with group, it will be smart. You have to be smart. Everything that comes in your life is for you to experience it. Very, very important. You need to experience it. You should learn to compliment more than complain. The two C's of life. Compliment, compliment. Everything you compliment. So the more you compliment, the more benefit. But if you want to complain, automatically there will be a lot of unfavorable thought patterns, unfavorable emotions, and once again your water molecule is affected. Be more flexible than being rigid. Very important, isn't it? Flexible. A river which is much more flexible reaches the ocean much more easy. But if it is rigid, it can't go. Be a student of all time. Every day be a student and always keep your mind open and receive the information first, analyze it, and then apply it. Very important, huh? You receive the information first, analyze it, and then apply it to your own life. If someone is coming and talking to you about, or you want to go and talk about our terahertz, you should know what information are you sharing, number one. Then give them an opportunity for them to analyze. And then once you start applying, then the same thing, if you duplicate to your a friend or relative whom you are talking about terahertz water, life is much more easier, isn't it? So saying that we all need to reduce our load of life, reduce the load of projection of our physical body, projection of our mind, also we need to limit and reduce it so that we can walk much more easily. Now saying this, it's a wonderful time I had with you all. So let's move forward, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity of 45 minutes. We had this wonderful session. So may your journey be peaceful, harmonious, joyful, and full of contentment, and looking forward to meet you again next week. And until then, I think in the next 1 week, I hope you all can reduce your load and drink a lot of terahertz water and give lot of positive information and positive emotions to the water molecule, and thereby create a fantastic life ahead for you. Thank you. Madam Lee.